Esties, it's Sam, and today is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be doing a solo podcast on the biggest lessons I learned during my first year as a solo esthetician. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number one is the power of being in demand. So I didn't realize how much being in demand would actually help me, and honestly, it happened by accident. Because I was so busy with the magazine, the shows, the podcast, I wasn't as available as most estheticians are when they're first starting out. So that natural energy of not being overly available and not being, I wouldn't want to say desperate for clients, but I just didn't feel that way because I wasn't relying on being an esthetician as my main stream of income. And this made me more desirable. My rent wasn't cheap, I will say that, and I did need a certain number of clients so that I can at least break even. Also, too, my first year, I went in it with the mindset of I might break even the entire year, and that's okay. And maybe I'm even gonna not. I even had the mindset of maybe I won't make any money, and I'm gonna have to pull out of pocket from my salary to make my rent. But I had my salary as I just had a really good situation where if anything were to happen, like I was going to be okay and I can always cancel my lease, not re-sign my lease after a year later. I'm like a big proponent on feeling safe. Um, yes, sometimes that's just not the case and we take risks and it feels scary, but I'm a huge proponent on like nervous system regulation and just being safe when you are having a business and being in the state of creatorship rather than survival mode. And that kind of goes back to a lot of like the mindset work I've done, like with Dr. Joe Dispenza and stuff. He talks all about just getting yourself out of survival mode and into creator mode. And when you are in survival mode, it's hard to create from that place. And a lot of times you'll make decisions that just don't feel good. A lot of times it comes out of a place of fear. So to each their own, but I do recommend just if you are going solo to have, money saved aside before you do decide to go solo or another stream of income that's going to support you. I'm just like all about like just feeling safe when you are taking this big leap. So like I said, my rent wasn't cheap, so I needed to have a certain amount of clients. So I priced myself fairly from the very beginning. My prices were on the higher side. I would say that they were like average for Miami, Florida. But I wanted to make sure I was valuing my time and that I can have a sustainable stream of income just seeing like 8 to 12 clients a week. So from day one, it was important for me to see my time as valuable and to set boundaries around how much I wanted to work, how much energy I had, and how I wanted to spend the rest of my time building my business because there's a lot of back end things that go into also owning a business. Another part of being in demand, I would say, was also niching down. And so I made it that I would be the it girl for buccal massage in my city. I didn't really see that many people in Pembroke Pines really, known for buccal massage. And I did see it on a lot of people's menus. A lot of estheticians had it on their menus, but they weren't really advertising themselves for that specific service. And so I saw like a gap kind of in my area that needed to be fulfilled. And I also really enjoyed doing it. I experienced TMJ myself, so it was a service that I really like believed in. So that was the service that I really, from the actual weekend of taking that class, and if you guys go back, we had Mo Tresice on the podcast last year. I think it was December or January of last year. I took her class that weekend, and I kid you not, 2 weeks after, those 2 weeks right after taking her class, I probably practiced on like 10 people and I recorded it, and that was my service, and I got so much content out of it. So don't be afraid to suck. Just like get like practice is key. Getting your hands on as many people's faces is key. I did sign up for a few events. I did one event where I think I saw like I think I touched 30 faces in a span of like 4 hours. It was crazy. Obviously, it was like 2 to 5 minutes each person, but it was such a learning lesson for me because of just the different facial structures and how your hands move around certain faces. And, sometimes it's harder to get like the neck and the shoulders. Some people are more tense, they go like that with their shoulders. Like it was just so great to experience different faces. Um, and also experience like how people open up to you, how some people are more open than others. Yeah, so I would say also doing some events is great for experience and exposure as well. I won't say like it brought me a lot of clients at all because a lot of these people that go to like these free events are looking to get a lot of free stuff. So they may not see like the value in like putting money towards things like facials. But it gave me a lot of experience, which I needed. And I would also say that goes for models as well. Like, don't expect for models to convert into clients. I did get a few models that converted into clients, but I did have a model fee. It was $50. For me, I just saw it as like making myself look booked and busy from the very beginning, and getting experience and getting content and batching so much content. That's how I spent my first month to 3 months. And I'll get into like what actually started to get me booked. But yeah, so I would say the first thing was just being like in demand. I Whenever a client would come see me, I would be like, I am booked 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. Um, we need to schedule your next one so that you can get on my calendar. And it was actually true. So, and I would say just fill up your schedule with, things, set your own personal boundaries. You can get really great side gigs as an esthetician. I'm always sharing on Instagram because a lot of companies reach out to me and they're like, I'm looking for someone to, do my social media just 10 hours a week. I'm looking for like a sales rep. There's so many companies that will hire you. Like the esthetician that works with me, she just got a job with 7E Wellness doing like their webinars and doing content for them and their machines. And she just works 10 hours a week doing that. And she gets a free machine out of it, which is pretty cool. So I know, I don't know at the time of when this releases, I know Moco was looking for people. So I mean, you guys can DM me and I can kind of, hopefully put you in the right direction. I have had a few estheticians reach out to me, and when they come to the shows, I will walk them to the brand that is looking to hire. But yeah, there's so many brands always looking to hire. So that's a good idea as well. Lesson number 2 is work with what you have. In the beginning, I didn't have the perfect studio, I didn't have the perfect equipment or back bar. I did have a lot of good products to start out with. That's actually how I got started, is that I got sent a box full of herbal skin solution products. And I was so grateful that day. I think I even cried. And I was like, I feel like this is my sign to take the leap, because it was like, enough products to last me like 3 to 6 months if I, depending on how many clients I had. And I was like, I can do this. Like I have everything to start. So I will say I did have a pretty good back bar. But other than that, I had my skincare. I had the class that I took. I had my hands. I did see a post from an esthetician that I admire. Her, oh my God, I don't remember her name, but on Instagram, her name is Honest Rituals. And she posted something about like, all she had, I think, was like $300, maybe $700 starting out. And she took a buccal class and she used her hands. Like her hands were what was going to make her money. And so I knew I couldn't afford like these expensive machines. So I was like, okay, I'm going to really focus on my craft. You can do so much with skincare also. I feel like sometimes skincare is like undermined. Like you can do so much even with the most simple skincare as long as you know ingredients. So my focus is going to be using my hands, having a really good touch, being known for having a really good touch, because these days I do hear a lot from clients like that they've never had a facial, like when they come in to get a facial with me, I've never had a facial like this. Like I feel like people don't even really touch my face anymore. And clients want to be touched. They want to feel relaxed. And I think a big part of that was before I became an esthetician, I would always be on the receiving end of receiving facials, receiving spa treatments. I was like, loved getting treatments done. So I just picked up what I liked and left what I didn't like from my experiences being on the table. So I would say also like get facials done, you know, do your market research. That's kind of how you do your market research. Okay, so yeah, so you want to just work with what you have. You need to see yourself as the biggest asset in your business, and your machines, the treatments that you offer, your services are secondary, but you are the most valuable. And the way to kind of just feel like you are the most valuable thing in your business is to work on your confidence. And the way that you work on your confidence is just building upon your skill and building upon your knowledge. So knowledge is power. The more you know, the more confident you will be as an esthetician. So really, my first year, I would focus on ingredients and, you know, knowledge on the skin analysis, asking the right questions like client consultations. So knowledge, and then skill and how you are using your hands, how you are layering products. Just focus on that itself. And then as you are learning, I do this so well because I think it's because if I was a solo esthetician just starting out, if I wanted to get clients, I would choose a way to channel what I'm learning into creating content. So like I wouldn't just make videos of like doing facials on models. I would either have a blog where I have to do research, so that is also helping me learn as an esthetician, and then producing content that is going to educate my clients. So I'm like a strong believer that you can learn so much by being a teacher. So essentially you want to treat your first year as like you are teaching your clients, you are educating your clients. So you are prepping for like your presentation for class. So do this by having a blog, do this by starting a YouTube channel, and maybe every week coming out with a video that's like 10 minutes to 30 minutes long, and you're talking about a specific topic. And that week you are researching that specific topic. Start a podcast. I really love creating content that is educational, where I have to do my research because I learned so much through it, and then I get to teach it to my clients. So that is a good tip to follow. So you are your greatest asset, and just be resourceful, work with what you have, be grateful for what you have, and it's only going to get better from there. Number 3, my third lesson is to listen to your clients' needs, not necessarily what they come in wanting or even what you want to do with them. Like sometimes we get certain treatments, new services or protocols that we bring into the treatment room, and we want to do it on everyone. And also too, you shouldn't be going to a trade show looking for like the next trendiest thing. You should be assessing what your client's needs are, and then going into those shows like, I need to find something that's going to solve what my client's needs are and what they're struggling with. Trends will always come and go, but your client's skin is right in front of you. So my bookings grew when I stopped chasing trending treatments, and I started deeply listening to what each person needed. and just stuck to the fundamentals. So consistency, education, skin health, and honestly, this always outperforms any hype. Clients don't need the next viral machine. They don't need like the next viral treatment. They just need results. And that is like the key to get clients coming back, is that they see results. And they should see results, yes, after their first treatment, but that also goes back to just setting proper expectations based on where they are at currently. And then kind of telling them, okay, you should start to see true results that you like, the results that you want in like 2 to 3 treatments, or we're going to get there in 6 months. It may take a year, maybe it's going to take longer. And you say this is going to be a journey, but just setting those expectations so that they know what they are in for from the very beginning. Number 4 is content consistency, authenticity, vulnerability, and expertise. So these are the pillars that you want to focus on when you're creating content. Content is not optional anymore. It's so necessary. If you are a solo esthetician, you can work for someone else and you don't need to create content. I think that even if you work for someone else, I would still be creating content and utilizing the clients that are being fed to me to the best of my ability, and just getting content, because that is kind of like your portfolio. That's like your reputation, and you want to make sure that you are just like that you are collecting your work, and it's something that you should be proud of. So content is going to be how future clients learn who you are, what you know, and why they should trust you. And the more consistently I posted aligned, authentic content, the more clients booked, because they already felt connected to me. When I showed up vulnerable, sharing my hormone struggles, my acne journey, and just real education, clients felt seen. And remember that you know more than the average consumer, even if you feel like you don't. If you're a new esthetician and you feel like you don't know anything, I promise you, you know more than the average consumer. So make sure you're always posting. Post on stories. Stories build trust fast because people feel like they're in the room with you. I've gotten so many bookings from just being vulnerable on my stories and just sharing about like my PCOS, hormones, things like that. Sharing my treatments like as they're happening, like kind of like a day with me. I've gotten more bookings from stories than I think the post that I put on my feed. And so you want to post as if you are literally documenting your life. Obviously, keep it professional, but I would post what you eat, the behind the scenes of cleaning your treatment room, how you are setting up and preparing for your client sessions, your skincare routines in the mornings and in the evenings, your makeup routine, your thoughts as you're driving, your thoughts on the latest skincare trends, frequently asked questions about skin. There is always something to post. You can post like a client's story. Maybe they're coming in with a damaged barrier because of X, Y, and Z, and you can, that's very frequent, and usually a client's problem and why they got and how they got to the problem. Many people are struggling with the same thing. So you can talk about your experiences as an esthetician and what you are seeing in the treatment room. You want to have like one of those, I don't know what they're called, but those little things in your car where you can put your phone up. Obviously don't like create a video while you're driving, but like if you need to pull over, I tend to get a lot of my ideas while I'm driving. So sometimes I'll pull over and create a video. And you don't have to post right away. You can batch content up and then post it later. But I would say like the best thing to do for content is a lot of people will set aside time to have like a content day, which is wonderful. I would do that. I would do that more for like treatments and like more longer form content. But I would also just, carry my phone around with me and just post as I go. A mistake that I see a lot of estheticians make is they put so much weight on the quality of their content. They want to have the best photos, the best videos, the best launches, campaigns, and they set aside this time. They pay of dollars, thousands of dollars to get like a photographer or videographer or to rent a studio and to do this like big production, which I think that yes, that is also helpful. Like I think you should have top tier branding for your spa when the time is right too, like if you can't afford it. But content is all about like quality. I mean, quantity over quality. The quality is in what you are saying, what you are sharing. It's the value that you are bringing and conveying within the video. But the video itself, I mean, these days people go viral on TikTok with like their hair up like this, like no makeup on, like very authentic. Um, and you guys are estheticians. You probably live, breathe, sleep skincare. You are always looking at the latest trends naturally. You care about your skin. A lot of us also deal with acne ourselves or melasma, things like that. And so we care about skincare. So it should not be hard to get content. And sometimes I feel like a lot of estheticians, a lot of business owners put so much weight on the quality of content. And I think nothing is better than just propping up your phone and just getting a bunch of videos from just doing your skincare routine and posting that. That is something my fiance, my fiance he has like a marketing agency for content creators, for influencers, and that's something that he always suggests is just like be you and record yourself like in your normal day to day. Don't try and pretend to be something you're not and like create a scenario in which you can create content. That's going to be so hard for you to get content. Just get content now. Okay. Also, if you're starting from ground zero, here's exactly what to do. This is what I did my first month of going solo. I joined local Facebook groups, announced that I was offering a new facial for a model rate in exchange for content, and I spent 2 weeks batch creating. Now, models, like I said, don't usually convert long term, but they help you appear booked and you can get a lot of content through it. And looking booked gets you real clients because it helps you just appear that you are in demand. You also need to create content based on pain points, not just pleasure. And this is something that Navette Ramos taught me. You guys can go back if you haven't checked out her podcast. But relaxing facials, they can look pretty, but usually they attract one and done clients. You want to speak to your clients' pain points, whatever it is that they're struggling with whether it's acne, whether it's hormonal acne, melasma that's just really stubborn, whether it's like deep under eye circles, dark under eye circles. Maybe they have for example, lately I've been getting a lot of clients that have like a lot of fluid here in their chin area and they want to get rid of it. And also too with the buccal, I made sure that I was just really hitting like pain. Like, do you wake up with headaches every day? Is your jaw locking? Do you have pain when you eat? Do you feel stressed out and it's causing you TMJ pain? Like things like that. Once I switched the way that I was marketing my buccal massage as something that was just relaxing to something that was like solving and really helping people, that's when I started to get booked a lot more. So shifting my content, it completely transformed my buccal service from a trendy experience into something clients wanted to invest in regularly. I will also say that, and I've heard this from Katie Christabel, we just did a podcast together, don't associate like the amount of followers to the amount of booking someone is getting. Someone could be like have 1 million followers and they're an esthetician, and maybe they're doing like ASMR facials or whatever. They probably are getting booked, and and I guess I can kind of share an example of this, but you can literally have like 1,000 followers and have more engagement and more bookings than someone who has like hundreds and thousands of followers that maybe they are getting seen a lot, but they're not necessarily converting their followers into clients. So an example of this is like when I used to do mindset coaching, I literally only had, I think, like 2,000 followers. And one day there was the whole 75 hard challenge that was going viral and everyone was doing it. And I was like in a very soft place in my life where I just wanted to focus on like nervous system healing and just feeling safe in my body and things like that. So I came up with the challenge of 75 days soft. And there was like certain things that like certain rules to the challenge. The same thing with 75 hard. So there are certain rules that I set up, like going outside every day. I don't remember exactly what they were, but all I did was post it to my story, and I was like, if anyone wants to join, like, just DM me. And I kid you not, I think I had like 25 to 30 girls in that WhatsApp chat. And that's a lot. Like, that's a big conversion for just having 2,000 followers. So it was just how honest and vulnerable I was being, and I kind of do this with this podcast too, how I wasn't really like, I was sharing what I knew in an educational way, but I wasn't saying like from a place of like, I know everything, I know it all. Like, I was sharing it from a place of like, I also struggle with this too. This is what's helped me. And this is what, I mean, could possibly help you. So that, I want you guys to like keep that in your minds. Like, don't focus so much on going viral. Focus on, like, you're estheticians, you want to help people, so focus on helping people. Also too, like, a lot of the times we can get in our heads about like how we look on camera or how we sound on camera, and it's not about that. It's not about you. It's how you are helping. It's about the people, the message that you're trying to get across to people, and it's about the people, right? So that is the best way also to like deal with imposter syndrome or self-doubt, is to just understand that it's not about you. It's about the message you're trying to get across that is going to help people. Lesson number 6 is to experiment boldly and commit wisely. So my first year was full of experimenting, whether that was services, pricing, content styles, collaborations. I say experimenting is necessary, but what matters most is recognizing what actually works and then having the courage to commit to it. Not everything, not every service deserves your energy, but when something is working, go all in. And that's when growth becomes intentional instead of chaotic. It's so easy to follow the hype and to think you need to offer everything, but the best thing you can do is offer whatever treatment or skincare products that you truly believe in as an esthetician. It is so easy to sell what you believe in, even if it's just one product or one treatment. Find what you truly believe in and become the spokesperson for that. For me, that's nervous system regulation, it's minimal personalized skincare, it's educating my clients on endocrine disruptors, on just, hormone fluctuations and things like that, like a lot of internal and how that affects the external. And when I talk about it, my clients listen because I feel so strongly about my own philosophy and the products that I offer. So a lot of the times, I think a lot of estheticians will see what brands are popular out there and just kind of like, and what's working for other estheticians that are successful, and just copy and paste that into their business. And I've done this too myself, where I will bring in certain products or certain treatments that I find maybe like trendy, and then I just don't feel so strongly about them. Like, a lot of times I'll try it myself and I just don't feel as strongly about them. And so I don't really sell them that well. I sell the products and the treatments that I believe in the most. And experimenting is going to be, and learning how you develop your own philosophy. That's kind of why I started this podcast, to give estheticians a platform to share their unique philosophies so that listeners can kind of see what resonates with them and hopefully create their own philosophies. So, number 7 is your energy is your strategy. So, I learned quickly that no strategy works if your energy is drained. Your mindset, your nervous system, and emotional regulation just shape how you show up and what opportunities come your way. So I like using tools like the emotional freedom technique called EFT tapping that helps me regulate and stay grounded as I just move towards big goals. I love Tap with Brad on YouTube. I have done some of his videos on like attracting clients and making money. Also, I want to talk about support systems because they matter too. Having people around me who believed in me, maybe they didn't really know my vision. And honestly, sometimes it's better not to just share your vision with everyone. If I had asked everyone for opinions about getting my suite going solo, I think I would have been talked out of it. I think that some visions are meant for you to hold quietly until they become real because, like I said, like I feel like everyone has a seed that's planted into their hearts and only they have the heart to carry it and to create their own paths for themselves. It's kind of like that book Big Magic where she talks about how there's like this ether of ideas, and sometimes an idea will fall into someone's lap, but they don't feel as passionate and strongly about it. So the idea will go back into the ether and go to someone else that feels strongly and passionate about it. And that's why people who sometimes can have an idea for like an invention or something, and then they see years later someone else actually executed that idea because they had the strong passion to carry it through. So just really, if you believe strongly in, and I think that's also too, that goes back to being authentic. If you're not being authentic from the very beginning, it's going to be hard to carry out what's truly in your heart because it's not what's truly in your heart. Number 8 is don't rely on motivation, stay disciplined. Motivation fades, discipline doesn't. Showing up consistently, even when I didn't feel like it, is what built my business. And let's be honest, as women, I mean, I can speak for myself, my moods change frequently. They move with my cycle. So during my luteal phase, I usually don't feel like doing anything. I am not as creative. So I plan accordingly. I batch my content during like the times where I feel happier, which are usually like my follicular phase, my ovulatory phase, and I will automate my emails, automate my posts, schedule my content. And I think it's just so smart, and we have so many tools these days to just like automate systems and schedule ahead and schedule in advance so that when life happens, we are still showing up. And sometimes too, I think it's important to show up even when you're not okay, and to share that vulnerability with others. It really like just makes you relatable as a person. And a lot of the times, like there's so many estheticians out there, right? What's going to set you apart? Obviously your knowledge and your skill, but a lot of times like people want to book you because they want to hang out with you and they like you as a person. I've gotten that feedback so much. It's like people even have listened to what I'm watching on TV. Like if I share what I'm watching on TV with my clients, then they'll come in and be like, "Oh, I saw that you watched this show. Like, what do you think about the new episode?" Things like that. So be yourself. Obviously, keep it professional. I don't like talking bad about I don't talk really bad about other people, but like I don't like to be negative on my page. I think you will attract what you are. So I just like to keep it, obviously be authentic and vulnerable, but I like to stay professional is what I'm trying to say. Number 7 is make Facebook ads your secret weapon. This may work for you. Actually, I think it works for everyone. Facebook ads are just wonderful. And if you have the means to do it, I would do it. It completely changed the game for me, and it's what got me from like having no bookings to being booked, and to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, like I was feeling a little bit burnt out. So if you can learn Facebook ads yourself, and just put some money aside for it or have someone help you. I mean, me and my fiance were able to learn it ourselves and to apply it. So, and it was the best thing that he did for me in my business. Honestly, I'm so grateful. So like I'll just be super transparent. The first month I put in 1,500, so $1,500, and I made nine. Actually, the first month I think I made like a good 6,000 or maybe a little less than that, but it's because the first ads that you do are going to give you more exposure and it's going to get you more followings. And what I like about ads is that it's attracting like the people that are looking for what you offer. So it's attracting the right people to follow you. And then the second month, I believe I made like 9,000, close to $10,000. Like I strongly believe like if I wasn't doing the podcast, the magazine, and I was just an esthetician, I probably would have made like 10K or more than 10K that month. But yeah, Facebook ads changed my life, changed my business. And I wasn't, I didn't have the mindset that I was always going to rely on Facebook ads. It was just to get people through the door. And then once people got through the door, then it was my job to, convert them into like long-term clients and to get them coming back. So rebooking is very important. Like you guys need to be rebooking clients before they walk out of the door. So I made sure to kind of also assess, like a lot of people would, so my highest performing ad was the buccal massage ad. And to this day, it's my highest performing ad. I actually hired my team member, Kelly, and she wasn't doing buccal before. It was difficult to get her booked. And so I taught her buccal massage and now she's getting booked. And so her job is simply to, she's getting people in through the buccal massage ad, and then she's converting them to like microneedling, nano infusion, treatments like that, which is pretty awesome because she's honestly really good at it. Like I get notified on my phone all the time and I'm like, I see that she rebooks, and I wasn't even that good my first time starting out. I was a little bit like, I don't know what the word is, just shy, and scared to ask, but your clients are coming to you because they see the value in what you offer. And so once they are there, it's your job to really like lock them in. Okay, guys, I think that like I lost track of the numbers as far as like how many lessons I have. So I want to say I'm on lesson number 9 or 10. I don't know, but bear with me. It's not about that anyways. So my next lesson is not to skip the season you are in. And this is something that I still have to remind myself of because I always feel like I'm on a race, like I'm in a race to get somewhere, but there's no race. And it's hard not to compare yourself to estheticians on social media, but you have to understand that every season has a purpose, right? If you're not fully booked yet, see that season as a blessing. It's a time to master your craft. It's a time to deepen your knowledge, to get better. Once you're fully booked, you have less time to learn. And honestly, I think that one of my regrets is growing too fast and marketing myself almost too good that like I skipped the foundational steps that I needed, and that affects client retention. So I'm really taking the time now, the next few months, to slow down and to up my education. And I think that we often compare ourselves to estheticians who've been in the industry for years, and who are where we want to be, and we want to be where they are right now. But the best thing you can do is take your time, enjoy the process, honor the season you're in. I think it makes it much more enjoyable as an esthetician. And, your clients are going through a journey themselves. So be there, be present in their journeys. Sometimes if we are just like rushing to get to the finish line, we're more concerned with how we appear on the outside rather than like truly nurturing our business and truly nurturing our clients. It's not sustainable. Like it doesn't last. And I have to remind myself of that too, because I struggle a lot of the times with like just perfectionism and wanting to achieve things. And we have to remember like the best achievement is like your client's success and their journey. And also too, like, it's kind of like what contributes to your happiness as an esthetician. So yeah, that I would say is my last lesson from this year, going solo. So thank you for listening, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.